Welcome back to Cat Facts Funny, where we quietly explore the hidden rhythms of our feline companions. Have you ever noticed a cat sitting across the room, eyes following your every move, yet never stepping closer? It can feel puzzling, almost like deliberate distance, but what we often interpret as aloofness is anything but. In these moments, cats are not ignoring us. They are observing, analyzing, quietly learning the rhythms of our presence. Every movement, every tone of voice, every subtle shift in energy is catalogued with remarkable precision. In this episode, we'll explore why cats watch from afar, what it reveals about their trust, comfort, and personalities, and how even their quietest gestures carry meaning in the intricate language of feline behavior. There are moments when you look up and notice your cat sitting quietly across the room, not sleeping, not playing, just watching. Their body is still, their eyes steady, their presence calm but deliberate. From a distance, they observe you as if they are studying something important. And if you've ever wondered what is happening in that silent space between you, you are not alone. Many people assume this behavior means indifference. Some even feel slightly rejected by it. But in reality, when a cat watches you from afar, it is rarely about distance in the emotional sense. Often, it is something much deeper and much more instinctive. Instinct, the observer within them. Cats are natural observers. Long before they lived inside our homes, their survival depended on patience and awareness. Watching from a safe distance allowed them to understand their surroundings before making a move. That ancient instinct has never disappeared. Even the most affectionate house cat still carries the quiet habit of observing first and acting later. When your cat sits across the room watching you, they are not doing nothing. They are collecting information. They are reading your movements, your posture, your energy. They are noticing patterns you repeat every day without even realizing it. Observation for a cat is a form of security. Your routine is their map. In many ways, your cat knows your daily rhythm better than you do. They recognize the difference between the way you walk when you are about to leave the house and the way you move when you are heading toward the kitchen. They sense the subtle shift in your breathing when you are relaxed versus when you are stressed. Watching you from a distance allows them to predict what happens next. Cats thrive on predictability. Your habits form a silent schedule in their mind. When you sit in a certain chair, reach for a familiar object, or stand up after a long pause, these small signals prepare them for what might follow: food, play, rest, or quiet time. Distance gives them a clear view of this unfolding pattern. Distance does not mean disconnection. Humans often measure affection through touch, sitting close, holding, physical contact. But cats define connection differently. For many cats, closeness does not require physical contact at all. If your cat chooses to remain in the same room rather than leaving, that choice itself can be meaningful. They could retreat to another space. They could sleep elsewhere. Yet they stay. They position themselves where they can see you. For some cats, this is companionship in its purest form, shared presence without pressure. Their distance is not coldness. It is comfort. A subtle sign of trust. A cat that feels unsafe does not sit openly watching. When they scare, they disappear behind furniture or into another room. When your cat rests calmly in view, even at a distance, it often means they feel secure enough not to hide. That quiet confidence speaks volumes. It suggests steady trust. Not dramatic or needy trust, but calm, grounded trust. They do not need to cling. They simply need to know you are there. And knowing you are there is enough. Emotional sensitivity from afar. Cats are deeply sensitive to emotional energy. They may not understand your words, but they are experts at reading tone, tension, and mood. If you are restless, anxious, or upset, they sense it. If you are peaceful and calm, they sense that too. Watching from a distance gives them space to assess your emotional state. It allows them to decide whether to approach or remain still. Sometimes they are waiting for the right moment. Distance gives them choice, and choice makes them feel safe. When distance signals uncertainty, there are moments when increased distance can reflect temporary hesitation. Sudden changes, new furniture, unfamiliar guests, loud noises, can make a cat more cautious. In those moments, space becomes a way to restore balance. It is not rejection. It is regulation. Once the environment feels predictable again, their quiet closeness often returns. Cats adjust carefully. They rarely react without reason. The silent conversation between you. If you look at your cat while they are watching you, you might notice something subtle. A slow blink, a relaxed stretch, a soft narrowing of the eyes. These gestures are small, but they carry meaning. In the feline world, prolonged staring can feel threatening. But gentle eye contact followed by a slow blink is a sign of trust. If you blink slowly and they respond the same way, that physical distance suddenly feels much smaller. You are communicating without speaking. It is a quiet exchange, a shared understanding. Presence is sometimes the deepest bond. It is easy to mistake silence for emotional separation. Humans are used to constant feedback, conversation, gestures, obvious signals of affection. Cats communicate differently. Their language is patient, subtle, unhurried. When your cat watches you from across the room, they may simply be sharing space with you in their own way. Two beings existing peacefully in the same environment. No request, no goal, just awareness. In a world that often feels noisy and fast, this kind of companionship is rare and calming. Even as they sit apart, quietly observing from across the room, cats are never truly distant. Every glance, every subtle shift in posture, every tiny movement of tail or ears carries meaning. They are reading, learning, understanding, and connecting, but on their own terms. This quiet vigilance is not indifference. It is attentiveness, a measured curiosity that allows them to feel safe while still engaging with their environment and the people they trust. Watching a cat in this way is an invitation to slow down, to notice the small details we often overlook, and to appreciate a form of companionship that is subtle yet profound. In these moments, distance becomes a space for observation, reflection, and mutual understanding. The cat's gaze is not empty. It is a bridge, a silent dialogue that asks us to consider what it means to truly share a space with another being. To sit back, respect boundaries, and observe without forcing interaction is to honor their intelligence and emotional depth. And in this quiet presence, we find that connection is not always loud or immediate. Sometimes it is simply felt in the shared awareness, the mutual attention, and the understanding that even in stillness, a cat is fully present. And yet, there is a quiet magic in their distance. By observing without rushing, we begin to understand that a cat's patience is a form of trust, and their stillness is a sign of comfort rather than detachment. Each careful glance, each measured pause, teaches us to slow down, to honor the rhythm of another being's mind. In these subtle moments, we learn that connection is not always about proximity or touch. It is about awareness, respect, and the unspoken bond that grows in shared space. A cat watching from afar is teaching us the art of presence, the value of observation, and the depth of quiet companionship. In their calm, deliberate attention, we are reminded that sometimes the richest relationships are not the loudest, but the ones built in stillness and understanding. A different way of being close. So the next time you notice your cat sitting quietly at a distance, try not to interpret it as detachment. Instead, consider what it might represent: curiosity, comfort, routine, emotional sensitivity, or quiet trust. With cats, affection does not always rush toward you. It does not always climb into your lap or demand attention. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it watches, and sometimes the simple act of staying in the same room, eyes gently resting on you, is their way of saying they feel safe. In that quiet distance, there is often far more connection than we first realize. And if you enjoy exploring these quiet behaviors and understanding your cat on a deeper level, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, we take the time to look beyond the obvious and gently uncover what our cats may be trying to tell us. If that kind of thoughtful approach speaks to you, you're always welcome to join us.